So everyone, we will start in just a minute here. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Modern Ventures Innovation Day. We are so excited to introduce our new passport class to you during this next hour here. So we are recording this event, so just so everybody knows. And with that, I'm going to get started. So just a quick minute on Modern Ventures. If you're already in this presentation, you probably know who we are, but just in case. We are a strategic early stage investment fund. We invest in technology companies all around real estate, finance, insurance, and home services. So largely what we do is actually look at companies that are often even outside of these industries, looking for, and what we do is bring them inside to help open up big markets for them. And we've been doing this now since 2008. So we're in about 13 years. We've invested across 3 funds. We look at about 4,500 companies every year, and we honestly say no to almost all of them. We bring about 15 to 20 companies through our passport program, and make anywhere from 2 to 10 investments in a given year. And over the last 13 years or so, we've brought in about 100 companies into the portfolio. Most of you probably are familiar with our platform. We generally invest in companies 2 to 20 million in revenue. Over the last 13 years, we've built up a network of about 700 executives and corporates across our industries, people who are looking for tech and innovation to create a competitive advantage. And for many, they look at Modern to be their outsourced venture arm or outsourced innovation arm to help them do so. And then we connect our companies with this network through the Modern Passport. So the Modern Passport is a industry immersion program. We run it 2 to 3 times a year. We bring 6 to 10 companies in any given year. And really it's to bring together the companies with the network and really match the industry with solutions that can help solve for challenges and opportunities, and also connect the companies with the right potential customers. And so this is a program, like I said, we've been running since 2013, and it has been really successful over the years. And today we're going to introduce you to 7 new companies, actually 8 new companies. And so largely when we think about what companies to be investing in or what companies to bring through the passport, we're thinking about what are the challenges, the market, the opportunities, and the gaps that the industries, our industries as a whole are trying to solve for. And so in this case, we hear a lot in the market about how do we automate operations? How do we make things easier? Either because people can't get to the buildings anymore, or just because we can sort of simplify our lives by doing things in a more automated way. ESG is an incredibly hot topic right now, not only because investors are demanding it, but because we all starting to think it's a good thing to do. And then, customer experience has been, or resident experience or tenant experience, this has all been something that has been on trend for a number of years, and I think continues to come back even more so. I won't go through kind of all the challenges on the bottom as it pertains to different asset classes or different parts of the industry. Certainly, if you're in the industry, you're familiar with all this already. But I will say that the companies that we generally invest in are companies that are addressing some of these key challenges that you see below. And so today's passport class, the newest passport class that we brought in, largely do fit across these themes of digitizing operations and helping to save costs by increasing efficiencies. They fall across the ESG spectrum in terms of implementing sustainable practices, and also help kind of move along that ESG curve, the innovation curve. And then also looking at how do you drive things like ancillary income and better satisfaction through experience. And so we'll meet these 8 companies today. And how we're going to set this up is that we'll we'll have some pre-recorded presentations from each of the companies, and in between, we'll do live Q&A. And so during this live Q&A, please make sure to use that Q&A feature on the bottom with any questions. And I will, interview each of the CEOs as we go through it. Yeah, also, we're gonna have a live poll that will show to you, I think at a few different times, but certainly at the end, so that if you want to connect with the companies that you're seeing, just put in your name and we'll make sure to make that connection offline. And then, the last thing I'll say is that at the very end, we've got a survey that, we'd just love to hear your feedback and what other events you might want to see us host in the future, what would be valuable for you. So with that, we're going to go into that first sector, and I will introduce Tailorbird. So Tailorbird uses computer vision technology to help increase speed to market for renovating. Now, this is particularly valuable for value-add properties. And what it allows an investor to be able to do is to, really, we used to use this word, automagically, assess new renovations, assess cost estimates, and really both decrease the amount of time to bid on new renovations, and then also, underwrite to those and even be shovel ready when you're ready to make that, that next investment. So with that, I'm gonna let Tim take it away. You got Tim.
Hi, my name is Tim Cantwell. I'm a licensed general contractor, and I previously founded and ran a residential construction business before spending the last 15 years of my career in M&A and venture capital. Today, I'm proud to share Tailorbird. Tailorbird is a software company that enables multifamily owners and property managers to create more value faster. The problem is clear. The typical value-add renovation takes way too much time to organize. It takes days of sidewalks scribbling notes. Friendly vendors and contractors go away, work up numbers, and spec themselves in. Then come all the emails and meetings trying to organize the project and get bids. Finally, some poor person has to level everything, and they spend weeks asking, is this in the number? Is that in the number? The projects start 4 to 6 months after underwriting and create a heavy lift for the ops teams. The result is lower IRR, higher costs, and scope that rarely matches underwriting. Tailorbird is a technology innovation and a business model innovation. The technology innovation is the use of computer vision to measure physical space and create a single source of truth. There's over 500 million residential photos online in places like leasing websites, apartments.com, rent.com, Rent Cafe, and places where residents post photos like Facebook, Yelp, Pinterest, and others. We're not inventing computer vision. This is the same technology that a Tesla car uses to see the road, but we are adapting it. Our technology focuses on making really bad photos useful, like the ones on the screen. Most properties have a couple hundred photos online, and users can always add their own. The benefits have been amazing. Owners are experiencing 8% lower cost of construction on average. They're avoiding interior design fees, and they're scaling their ops teams. Property managers are spending 80% less time in pre-construction, and contractors are able to bid better and 75% faster. The business model innovation is scalable operations to do more deals with the same staff. Physical space is measured using photos, creating a single source of truth. Design and scope editors are built in. The software's budget, RFP, tracking tools eliminate manual efforts to create value faster. Each project is customized to your vision. Architect curated design, scope, and spec editors drive fast and beautiful outcomes. Enough about the software though. Let's jump into 2 case studies, and I'll show you how real customers have used Tailorbird. The first is Catalyst Housing Group, with a 309-unit urban mid-rise asset in Oakland, California. This was a full scope project at $28,000 per unit, which included unit interiors, corridors, common areas, electrical area upgrades. Tailorbird went wing to wing in 7 days, from getting the property address to having budgets, design, scope, RFP to qualified general contractors, bid leveling, and analytics. Frankly, it shocked everyone because the owner was still a month out before the close of acquisition, and we were already completely done with pre-construction. The second case study is Greystar with a 349-unit suburban garden-style asset near Miami, Florida. This was a countertop and plumbing fixture-only job. It averaged about $5K per unit. Tailorbird went start to finish in 2 days. The customer back-tested us against 2 general contractors that had already walked the job site. What they found was that our measurements were 99% accurate, but also we uncovered bid material inflation with both GCs that frankly you would never have been able to catch without Tailorbird. Besides saving 4 months and dozens of site visits, Greystar felt that having Tailorbird was an enormous op risk reduction. We would be pleased to pilot Tailorbird with a select number of customers. We're looking for multifamily owners and property managers who are actively acquiring cosmetic value-add jobs. Based on the property address, we can provide design, scope, accurate budgets, and are ready to launch RFP in 2 days or less. We're looking for great partners, and we'd love to demo how our capabilities can help add more value to your next job. Please contact me for any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. So just as a reminder to the audience, please use the Q&A button at the bottom to ask questions. So first question that came in is, how do you choose, so once you go for that bid, how do you choose the contractors to actually do those bids?
Yeah, it's a good question. We, first off, include contractors that the property managers and owners are comfortable working with. In our experience, there are established relationships in most regions, and we always work with the owner and property manager to include those folks in the RFP. We also recommend other contractors that we've worked with that have done similar scopes of work for similar projects, and it's up to the owner and property manager if they want to include our recommended contractors or not. Some people do, they like getting the additional numbers and they can drive down their own people with those numbers or try somebody new. Okay, so
they can include their own into that process. And we have another great question. How accurate are the digital measurements that you actually capture? And I love this answer, so.
98% or better. We specialize in using really, really bad photos. We are not inventing computer vision, but we are adapting it, and we're making those, off-angle, high aspect ratio, came straight off of a mobile phone photos, really useful.
And Tim, you actually had a client that did a side-by-side test of, I don't think they told you, right? That they did a side-by-side test of your technology, and then they sent in contractors, right, to do it the old school way. So why don't you talk about that test?
I mean, my stomach fell out when I saw what they did. Anyone on the line, I guess you're welcome to do it to me too, but maybe, save me some years of life. Exactly, they ran contractors through the property and Tailorbird. They didn't tell me that the contractors had been there. We were 99% accurate to those contractors, but we uncovered bid material inflation in both of those. There is high variance from GC to GC as you go through and you measure something, especially like countertops. And by putting Tailorbird in as a single source of truth, it not only standardizes that, it dramatically increases the speed.
Great. All right. And then we just have let's see, there's 2 more questions. Do you manage full cycle of the project from the billing payment point of view?
So today, Tailorbird's focused in pre-construction, and we stop when the contract's signed. But if you're interested in that, the rest of that, please reach out anyways, because that is on our roadmap.
And then the last question that we have time for is, how do you actually save time comparing to the traditional procurement process other than the computerized measurement?
Yeah, this is where the process with Tailorbird, the business model innovation, is different, and it's shockingly different for folks when they're first adapting Tailorbird. But today what happens is you go walk the site. You bring friendly vendors to walk the site, you bring friendly contractors. You may have to do that several times. COVID has made that even harder to get access to the units. Everyone takes notes on paper, or you're capturing some photos. You go away, you collate the notes, and you try to organize the project. When that project comes back, then somebody has to fit it all together. And with Tailorbird, you actually just step around that entire process. We create a single source of truth from the photos. We layer on design, scope, specs, and SKUs. We generate an accurate budget for that. And you're able to go out with a single source of truth to the RFP. So, count up all the hours you spend in site walks and take that down by 80%. Cut out all the site visits and repeat things and questions of, should this be in the scope or not? And all of that just does not become part of the equation when you use Tailorbird.
Great. All right. Well, everyone, keep the questions coming. You can still put new ones into Q&A, and we'll make sure that Tim answers them online for you here. So thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.
All right. Our next presentation is going to be from Peak. So we talked about this idea of digitized leasing. A lot of people are talking about virtual first leasing. So Peak not only does that and provides interactive tours, but they're very interesting from kind of all the others that we've seen, primarily because they're also combining advanced analytics, content management, and marketing tools, and integrating that all with your backend system. So this is why we're excited about Peak. So with that, I will let Austin take it away.
Hi, my name is Austin Lowe, and I'm co-founder and CEO here at Peak. Today, I'm here to present our virtual leasing solution. Now, it's no secret that leasing and marketing expenses take a massive bite out of your NOI. But what if we could double your leasing productivity and increase the amount of organic, free leads that they get by 1.5 times? Peak turns your leasing into a virtual first journey, powered by the most detailed prospect engagement data possible. With this data, we can help your leasing team individualize prospect interactions, sign more leases, and turn your vacancies faster. Now let's take a step back and look at the traditional leasing process. Start off with marketing with 2D photos and text descriptions, and then your leasing team fields inquiries over phone and email, and in most cases will tour prospects physically through a property. Now, with virtual first leasing powered by Peak, we start with virtualizing the entire community, every amenity, every single availability, using our software that's up to 80% faster and cheaper than solutions you may have heard of before. Now we start the prospect's journey virtually, and from that, we start capturing the engagement data from the first second that they set eyes on your property. The result is that we can generate insights that help your leasing team nurture the leads that matter, tailor interactions with prospects exactly to what they're interested in, and create a leasing process that's up to 3.5 times more efficient than traditional leasing. At the core of the Peak platform is the dashboard. This is the command center for the virtual first leasing process. We take in the pricing and availability data from your property management system and merge that with the virtualization of the building, creating a single, unified, simple to use interface for your leasing team to monitor, market, and manage the virtual first leasing journey. Now from the Peak platform, we can also take the leads and the insights that we generate and feed that back out to your property management system, your CRM, and the rest of your tech stack. We can even create custom integrations with our open API. Now we help you collect all this detailed prospect engagement data, but we also help you make sense of it too. On a building and portfolio level, you can see in real time the effects of various marketing initiatives on your virtual foot traffic. More interestingly, on a prospect level, we know exactly what a prospect has seen and where they're looking. We can tell you whether they've taken a particular interest in the kitchen of every single unit that they've viewed, or whether they've in fact spent more time touring the amenities than the actual units in every single building that they've seen. All these are valuable insights to help your team individualize and tailor interactions with the prospect to turn them into a resident. Now, we've even rethought the virtual tour specifically for multifamily leasing. The entire community is available in a single, easy-to-use menu, including all the amenities. All the information that a prospect needs to evaluate the property is in a single window. And you can even virtually stage the unit and toggle the furniture on and off with a click of a button. Now, none of this would be any good if it took tens of thousands of dollars and 6 months to integrate into your existing website. We have fast, no-code, copy and paste integrations with all major website vendors and even custom websites. So what does this add up to? With TriCap, we are able to increase their website engagement by 3.5 times, shorten their units' time on market by 17 days, over 50%, and increase their leasing productivity by over 2 times. Fewer calls, emails, and texts were necessary to get a lease signed. With Silverstein Properties in New York City, Midtown Manhattan, a challenged, struggling market, they had a high level of vacancies and were also dealing with a ballooning marketing cost driven by increasing costs with aggregators. Now with Peak, they were able to increase the amount of organic free leads that they got by 1.6 times and more than triple the productivity of their leasing team. So, we're here today because we want to work with you to build the future of virtual first leasing. We want to see what this detailed prospect engagement data and what these insights can do to optimize your leasing process and add to your bottom line. My contact info is below. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Austin. So once again, as a reminder to everyone, please insert your Q&A at the bottom here. Got a question on how much of a focus is virtual staging within the tours. So I thought I think one of the coolest things about your technology, Austin, is that it is that quick click of putting new furniture in or not putting new furniture in. So yeah, I guess how much of a focus is that, and do people care about it, and how easy is it to do?
So I think the interesting thing is that virtual staging is something that in the past has been very difficult to do with virtual tours, and we make it easy and affordable. And when our clients virtually stage, we see massive jumps in engagement and inquiries, because it really does help the prospect visualize themselves in that new home. They know, okay, like I can fit a couch in this corner, or okay, this studio apartment actually has enough room for a home office.
And as the sort of leasing agent, the person responsible for putting in the virtual tour or the virtual staging here, is there a category, or I guess is there a lot for me to choose from? How do we do that?
So actually, we have a dozen predefined furniture packs, so different styles, different kind of feels for the furniture. But for our enterprise clients, we also have the ability to customize a furniture pack just for a subset of communities as well.
Great. And then another good question is, what about, so this, you showed all this in multifamily. What about, do you see a path towards retail or office properties as well?
So I think this all comes down to data. And the way we view this is that we are a tool to help collect interest data from prospects and be able to determine or drive smart interactions based on data-driven insights that we can capture from seeing where people spend the most time looking within a property.
Great. All right. Thank you so much. And again, keep the questions coming, and Austin can continue to answer them offline. Thanks, Austin.
All right. Thanks, Constance.
All right. Our next company is JoyHub. JoyHub is an AI-driven data aggregation and BI platform that allows business operators to gather more insight among your properties. Now, one of the things that we see as a challenge into the industry is, especially as you're acquiring new properties, is that you might be using different back-end systems, be it RealPage or Yardi or others. And what JoyHub allows you to do is to get a full picture across those systems to be able to understand the underlying analytics across your portfolio. So with that, I'm going to let Elizabeth take it away.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Freeman, and I am the co-founder and CEO of JoyHub. We provide business intelligence and data aggregation for apartment and rental property owners and operators. Rental properties generate a massive amount of data, but it's hard for operators to have a comprehensive data strategy. This is largely due to the fact that most real estate companies use, on average, 30 different standalone systems. But why does anyone need a data strategy? Should lack of a data strategy keep operators up at night? Well, you need accurate data for reporting to communicate effectively your performance to investors, clients, and your team. You need accurate data for insights and visualizations to easily identify opportunities to reduce costs and generate additional revenue. And you need accurate data for forecasting to detect trends, analyze events, and drive performance now and into the future. But for most operators, developing a data strategy means dedicating time and resources they simply don't have. And as a result, they admit to wasting 2 to 3 months of valuable time each year managing and organizing their data. But the fact is, you rely on data to make decisions every day. Shouldn't it be accurate? We built JoyHub to tap the power of your data. It connects to all of your various technology systems, collects data from these systems and third-party sources, standardizes the data to make it consistent, and stores it securely for business continuity. And with this, you're empowered to surface actionable insights that guide optimal performance. Let's go one layer deeper. What data are we talking about? Start with your primary data sources, like your property management systems for leasing and accounting, Yardi, Entrata, RealPage, and the like, your CRM, IoT devices, tenant apps, parcel delivery system, you name it. And then you layer in your secondary sources, which include our proprietary data packages, market data, demographic data, rental comps, as well as non-traditional real estate data, like Yelp restaurant scores, credit card velocity, and traffic patterns. And then you transform the data with the tools you need to outperform the competition. I'd like to share with you now a case study. We've been fortunate enough to spend the last few months working with Origin Investments. They're a fund manager with 1.4 billion in AUM. Origin receives reports from multiple partners and property managers, but needs real-time access to their data. They also want it standardized across Yardi and RealPage systems, as well as the ability to layer in additional data from their other systems, like Bird Eye Reputation Management System and their Radix Rental Survey System. For Origin, we're looking at a number of data sets to surface actionable insights, like the impact of work order timeframes on online reviews and resident retention. Like, what are their property rents relative to their competitive set over time to identify trends? Like turnover analysis that incorporates unit type by location in the building, time of year, and amenities. Like what ad sources not only have the lowest cost per lead and highest conversion, but also the highest retention and customer lifetime value. Origin wants to go deep into what moves the needle for their investments. So what would move the needle for you? We'd like to invite you to collaborate with us and find out through participation in our enterprise pilot program. We will onboard up to 10 buildings for a 3-month review at no cost. Although we would like to develop a case study with you to make sure Together, we define the system, how it will provide your organization with maximum impact. With your feedback, we can truly build a compelling data strategy together. Thank you so much for your time today. Be a pleasure to work with you. So please let us know if you're interested in exploring further. Thanks again.
Great. Elizabeth, we have a really good question. Well, first of all, just for the audience, we're going to do some questions with Elizabeth, and then we're going to throw up a poll for if you want to meet with any of the companies to be able to answer that. So anyways, Elizabeth, how do you protect your data?
Great question. And it's something that has been top of mind since we developed the system. So even before we onboarded our first client, we worked on developing the strongest, most secure data strategy and security strategy available in the market. We have engaged with Vanta as a partner to develop and track all of our security practices in anticipation of a SOC 2 audit that we'll be applying for. We reach the highest standards of the current industry for security and data safety, and are meeting, I'd say, the kind of Amazon standards. We are to the Amazon Web Services standards.
Okay. All right. And one more question. Onboarding, that must be really difficult to be able to sort of match the fields and make sure you're getting the right data, or is it?
It's a very good question. And we're finding on average, it only takes a couple hours per system to onboard each data set if we've already worked with that particular data source. So we're building out our list of data sources that we've worked with. There's multiple ways of doing data extraction, but we take on all of the work to the best of our ability and try and limit that work on behalf of our clients. Obviously, there is so many different ways of tracking and working with data, no one particular right way, and even different accounting strategies. So we work collaboratively with the client, but try and take on as much of that as possible.
Okay. Fantastic. And keep the questions coming. I think you guys maybe put that poll to meet with any of the companies. So first of all, there's something called mentor meetings. And so what are mentor meetings for Modern Ventures? So mentor meetings, if you haven't participated, are the ability to meet one-on-one with each of these companies. It's 20 or 30-minute sessions. You can choose as many of the companies as you want. And so we hold these meetings every other Thursday. For the next several months, we'll focus on some of these companies that you're hearing from today, but you also have the opportunity to meet with others throughout the portfolio. And so to the extent that you're interested, you can answer that here. We'll pop this up again at the end of the session too. So, all right, with that, we're gonna move into our next segment, which is ESG. And so we can talk first about Piñata. So Piñata is a platform that is designed to help actually you really induce behavior that you want to see happening from your residents. So it is a platform that provides rewards, but also credit programs that incentivizes people to both pay rent on time, but also perhaps other behavior that you want. So maybe save on water or on other energy or other things within the community. So with that, we are going to turn it over to Lily.
Hi there, my name is Lily Liu. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Piñata, a new platform that makes rent more rewarding. I'm a tech entrepreneur, started my first company in the GovTech space. We took a mobile platform to digitize 311 services and scaled it across hundreds of cities. We were acquired by a company called Excella. And I'm really excited today to tell you guys more about Piñata and what we're doing for the real estate rental market. The problem we're addressing are high accounts receivable and less revenue across the board. In fact, we started 2021 with a record high of 30% of renters who were unable to pay their rent in full by the grace period, resulting in over $70 billion of accumulated back rent. Now, capturing even just a small percentage of this is significant revenue. The current situation we're looking at is that there aren't incentives for on-time rent payments and boosting revenue opportunities. In fact, it's pretty difficult to shape renter behavior right now. The best of our renters, those who pay on time and in full, get the least of our attention and go unrewarded. Yet consumers are expecting credit cards, airlines, hotel programs to give them loyalty and reward points, but they get nothing for rent right now. Rent payments are the biggest check most renters are writing every month, but less than 2% of them are ever reported to the credit bureaus. So even less incentive to get that payment in full and on time, and unnecessary delinquency. It's difficult to identify at-risk renters who may need financial support to pay their rent on time before it's too late. Our solution is that we're boosting your payments, revenue, and loyalty from your renters. We do this by increasing on-time rent payments, starting at 2%, which can result in millions of dollars every month that you'll see in additional revenue. That's through our rewards and custom incentives. We help to increase ancillary revenue, starting at $3 per resident per month through our credit building product, and supporting your social initiatives for ESG program goals through our financial support program for your renters. Now, we guarantee that you're going to get rent in full and on time on behalf of your at-risk residents. We provide them with a rent smoothing product, so they pay us back in installments. You'll get paid on time, we take the risk. You also get Piñata Pro. This allows you to further customize the incentives that your renters are getting. You can incentivize things like collections and reducing AR accounts, early lease renewals, self-service maintenance, boosting those social media reviews is always popular, new lease signings, surveys. You'll also be able to manage your ancillary revenue on the credit building program. Again, that starts at $3 per resident per month that you'll receive in additional revenue. Now, what do your renters get? They get over $100 in annual value through the premium rewards in the application. They're going to get Piñata Cash. They can use that to spend on any reward they want in the system. Again, they're getting this just for paying their rent on time. There's no additional cost for you guys to deliver these rewards to your renters. It's all built into the program. We also report their rent to the credit bureaus and show them their credit score, give them education, and deliver it on a fun gamified platform. And finally, the rent smoothing product for your at-risk renters. We've seen a ton of traction in the past year since launching. We have over 200 property management companies who are signed up, 50,000 renters nationwide, and 300,000 brands and deals in the rewards and marketplace. Some actual examples from groups we're working with. Renters Warehouse was able to reduce AR by nearly 2% after launching Piñata. We were able to do this by giving their renters rewards and gifts to incentivize those payments. With Home River, they were able to generate $10 to $15 per door in ancillary revenue through their resident benefit package that was delivered as a chargeback to the renter. How we were able to do this is by bundling our rewards and credit building program into their resident benefit package. And finally, incentives. We were able to incentivize 40% of our renters to complete survey responses for Piñata Cash, a great example of how you can use Piñata Cash for other incentives, things like reducing AR accounts, early lease renewals, online satisfaction. A sneak peek at what's to come is the first zero transaction fee credit card that can be used for rent. It'll be the first time renters can actually use a credit card and pay their rent in full and on time, with the extension of that 30 days to pay it off. We're really excited about launching this year. Now, to get started, we have our pilot program for those folks involved, and they will receive everything we talked about today through the loyalty and rewards program, where your renters get over $100 in value, credit building, where you will receive $3 in revenue per resident per month, and the rent smoothing product for your at-risk renters. We work with all major property management software platforms as well. If you're interested, visit us at piñata.ai/pilot or shoot me a note at lily@piñata.ai. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lily. That was great. And we've got some good questions for you. The first is, what is the cost to the resident for Piñata?
question. So actually, renters pay no fees to participate in the program. It's a rewards and credit building product that's delivered to them through the mobile application. And as a part of the program, we're actually offering this to the pilot companies for the 3-month term at no cost.
That's great. And after that, what would that cost?
And after that, we work with each group to determine a pricing model that makes sense. Just for folks in the audience right now, to give you a sense of our market pricing, it's $1 per unit per month for the rewards program. And oftentimes we see this charged back to the renter.
Okay. And then can I choose who I want to feature for my rewards?
Great question. Yes. So you can actually customize the marketplace and the different deals that you have in there. So we have a whole BD team that's focused on creating industry partnerships and also executing on custom deals and rewards that your renters get. But if your team already has great deals locally or nationally, let's say it's renters insurance, you can absolutely enter that into the application. So only your renters will see that in the mobile app.
Great. And then the last really quick question is, what property management systems does this work with?
Yes. So we actually work with all major property management platforms. The great thing is there's no technical integration that's needed. All we need is the monthly rent roll to be emailed over to our team. And we work, some common systems that we work with are Yardi, Appfolio, Propertyware, Entrata, RealPage.
Okay. And this question has been asked a lot, and I'll just kind of answer it. But this is across asset classes, right? So yeah, you have SFR, this could be used for office. And someone asked earlier about some of the other companies, can this be used, can the products be used for homes? And I think, largely the answer is yes, this can be used across asset classes and across platforms.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thanks, Constance.
And everyone keep the questions coming. Lily can answer them offline. And the next company we're going to introduce you to is Trash Butler. Now, who says trash isn't sexy? We like trash. we like trash tech. Definitely fits within the ESG, particularly the E here. But it's, what Trash Butler does is not only keep trash out of the buildings, but also has advanced recycling programs and great customer service. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am Kelly Myers, Vice President of Institutional Development with Trash Butler. I used to be the head of ancillary services for Alliance Residential before they were acquired by Greystar. So I had about 6 years of working with doorstep trash companies, and through that I got to know Trash Butler really well and ultimately ended up joining them, and I was super excited about it. So $1,484, that is a very large unbudgeted amount for our properties to have to deal with. And unfortunately, the changes that are happening are not going to be helping this. China used to allow about 25% contaminants in their recycling and now only allow about 0.05%. So that can greatly affect your contamination charges. And your overage charges, uncollapsed boxes take up about 60% of your bin. So just having those boxes in there alone can create overage charges for the communities. And unfortunately, the residents don't typically have a great education on what they can recycle, what they can compost, things like that. And the great thing is, these are all fixable problems through ESG programs like ours. Our standard program is just doorstep trash and recycling service, where we pick up the trash and recycling from the doorstep. But we do have other options, and through an analysis of your community, we really see what are the things that are going to make the biggest effect on your community, whether it be recycling sorting, whether it be putting composting on your community. We really dive in and do an analysis on your community to decide and help you decide what is the best thing for your community to help with sustainability, your hauler costs, and your bottom line. So most people think they already know what doorstep trash is. I know I did before I met Trash Butler. But we truly feel that we are changing the game through enhancing the customer experience. I know when I was on that side of things, I always wanted to know, what does that experience look like? And we truly pride ourselves on this. We make sure that our butlers are clean and on time and making your community clean. We work with technology on our side to ensure that the community staff does know what's happening on site with our program. And we make sure to clean around your dumpsters and compactor areas so that you have a nice, clean community. We also have multiple levels of supervision that allow for our butlers to have a level up to make sure that they are doing exactly what they should be doing for your communities and making sure that customer experience is great. So the great thing about our program, you're doing well for the environment, but you're also doing well for your budget. On a 300 unit community, you're looking at about $5,000 in net revenue per month. About $1,250 is the standard for the net amount that you're going to cash flow with our program because you charge the residents for this. We also have found with communities that use us that we can help reduce that staff time spent and that hauler cost by helping divert that trash to the right places and cleaning up the dumpster areas that would normally be spent with the staff doing that instead. So we do have a couple client testimonials that I'd like to talk about. We did have one that started with a large competitor and they felt stuck. They felt like they were just settled in their ways and there wasn't really another option. And he even says in there, he was not an easy sell, but he ended up coming over to us and we were ultimately able to show him that, it can be done better and we can enhance the customer experience. And thankfully he let us do that and found out that there was a better way. Same with this customer, they talk about how much they love our people and that's something that we really pride ourselves on. And same with the response time, we really make sure that if there is something that happens that we respond as soon as possible to make sure that again that customer experience is staying as good as it possibly can be. So we would like you to be able to experience the Trash Butler difference. And through that, we are offering a pilot in DFW and Southeast Florida. And this will be no cost to you for 30 days. So we would love to have you join our family. Please email me, kelly.myers@trashbutler.com for more information and we can talk about it from there. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you, Kelly. And so one great question is, how do you guys really help my ESG score? And how do you help reduce my costs? I guess it's a two-part question.
Sure. So that is a great question. A lot of the communities are dealing with high contamination and overage charges right now. So we have a couple different ways that we do it. We have different programs that we kind of go through and do an analysis for the communities, but we do things like tearing the recycling bags before they get to the dumpster so that they don't get those bag recycling contamination. We also have another program where we do loose recycling sorting, and we do work with the top haulers out there to get some reporting into their system so that we can help you truly report on that diversion. Great.
And I think there's another last question here about what's the competitive market? So why are you better than other solutions or just doing it, the property's doing it themselves?
Sure, that's fair. So I think there's a couple of things that set us apart. One, that customer experience, really making sure that, our clients are taken care of with multiple levels of supervision. Also, we clean around the dumpsters, the bin areas. We make sure that your site is informed of anything going on in the community, such as resident infractions or violations where they're not following the rules to, again, try and help you with that contamination and overage charges that you may have. And our team has a checklist that they go by every night, and they have to make sure that they go by that checklist to ensure that your community is up to par and where we want it to be.
Great. All right. And there's some more questions for you, but I'll let you answer those online on the Q&A. Thank you very much. And with that, we will head into the last three companies of the program. We're going to start with Kaiyo. So Kaiyo is a marketplace for gently used furniture. And so, we all kind of have gone through that era, that time when we are moving, especially, but we want to get rid of that perfectly good dresser, Or conversely, we want to go buy something, and it's, we go into the perfectly great retail store, and it's going to take 6 months to get that great bed that we just saw on the showroom floor. And now with everything else going on, maybe it's 9 to 12 months. So Kaiyo solves those problems. They are a marketplace for gently used furniture. Not only will they consign your furniture and sell it without having a bunch of creepy Craigslist people coming in, but they will do a white glove service where they take it out, they bring it to their warehouse, they photograph it, they clean it, and they will provide commissions for what they sell. So they will also service a building in the case that residents can pay for just getting it all removed and worked out for them. So with that, I just totally took the whole punchline away, but I'll let Alpay take it away and tell you more details.
Hi, my name is Alpay. I'm the founder and CEO of Kaiyo, a full-service furniture marketplace committed to great design, exceptional customer care, and a more sustainable planet. Prior to Kaiyo, I was the co-founder and CEO of a mobile game development studio, which was acquired by Zynga in a $250 million deal. These days, I spend 100% of my time working on Kaiyo, and I'm thrilled to tell you today 3 things that we can do for you. Number 1, improve your resident experience. Number 2, reduce your overhead costs. And number 3, decrease your environmental footprint, all of them at the same time. We'll be able to do this by offering you 2 solutions to 2 of your most common problems. So let's get started. Problem number 1, the move-in. I'm sure no community manager enjoys seeing idle boxes crowding out their lobbies or mail rooms, which is not a flattering look. But that's exactly what happens when residents order deliveries and they're not always there to pick them up, sometimes leaving them for days. Add to that the unscheduled deliveries that randomly show up. It's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of headache for your community staff during busy seasons. Now, Kaiyo can simplify this. We offer up to 90% off on top brands, and we couple that with our own professional white glove delivery service. Most importantly, we combine deliveries, and we require the delivery on a day that your resident will be personally available. This is standard at Kaiyo. We require inspection and sign-off from our buyers. Now, what does this do for you? Number 1, it ensures that your residents get exclusive deals through you on top quality furniture conveniently and sustainably. And number 2, it reduces the number of idle packages and unscheduled deliveries that plague your communities during busy seasons. Now, what do I mean by top quality furniture and convenience? Well, everything that you see behind me is actually ordered on Kaiyo, and they were delivered in 2 days to the East End of Long Island, which is where I am. Now, this didn't happen because I'm CEO. You can go on the website and see for yourself that this is what we offer every one of our customers. It's the Kaiyo difference. Probably not the experience you envision when you hear the word secondhand furniture store, but this is the quality and convenience that we offer. Now, one more thing on this point. For select locations, we can even offer deliveries after hours. The purpose of this is twofold. 1, to further help you load balance your service elevator traffic on busy seasons, and 2, to offer your residents an even more convenient delivery time option. Now, this isn't something we do today. It's not something we normally offer. This is going to be exclusive for your residents as well. Let's move on to problem number 2, the move out. Possibly an even bigger headache for some of you on the call. In fact, this is a picture I personally took in the early days of Kaiyo, and it's a common scene, right? Large, bulky pieces of furniture get left behind by residents who move out. And what does that do? Well, it results in extra time and extra cost for your staff to deal with. It results in ugly fees and complaints on social media from your residents. And last but not least, it results in a whole lot of environmental waste. So much waste that, in fact, furniture is the number 1 waste category by a long margin in terms of what we put in landfills. Shouldn't we be able to do better than that in this day and age? Well, with Kaiyo, we can. Kaiyo offers a fast pickup of bulky items that are commonly left behind. It's simply what we do as a marketplace for our sellers. We do this quickly with our own professional crew who are trained to provide 5-star customer experiences, no matter who they deal with, whether it's your staff or your residents directly. Our team will get the job done and we'll get it done well. You can provide a variety of options for your residents to make their move out more convenient for them, less time and cost intensive for your staff, and at the same time, simply better for the environment. That's because we professionally clean and sell whatever we can, and we donate or try to recycle the rest. Kaiyo is loved by customers, as you'll find online. Our commitment to an exceptional customer experience is not just a fancy tagline, it is an obsession here. We read every single one of our reviews and work very hard every day and iterate on what's already a world-class customer experience. From our perspective, our customers, like your residents, deserve nothing less. And finally, working with Kaiyo will also help elevate your community's environmental standing. Why spend your time and money to contribute to the largest waste category when you can be a leader in ESG? Why be a part of the problem when you can provide a win for your residents, a win for your bottom line, and a win for our planet? We're now looking for a limited number of partners in select markets to pilot and co-build this program. We're excited to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alpay. So a few good questions that have come in. So a lot of people put their stuff in storage. One of the questions came in, for a COVID purpose, or you always think you're going to use that furniture again when you move, but it turns out you never do. So are you able to go straight to the storage facility to put these online as well?
Unfortunately, we actually do not. We have a policy against picking up from storage units. I hate to say this, but there are two issues that we commonly run into with storage units. One is the logistics is quite difficult. People usually don't show up. That's not to say the folks on this call wouldn't. But the second and more concerning point for us is that storage units aren't always the cleanest places, unfortunately. We've had some bad experiences and we've decided that it's just not a risk that we're willing to take.
Makes sense. So I guess on that, which is related, what is when you're picking it up from a normal place, what is your cleaning and photo taking process?
Yeah, so everything goes under very extensive cleaning. Fabric items like sofas get washed entirely end to end. We have industrial grade equipment that, extracts everything, rinses everything out. So we don't do, for example, spot cleaning per se, but we do hygienic cleaning. Everything gets washed. So when you sit on a sofa, you're sitting on an entirely clean sofa that's been washed. For everything else, like wood pieces, they all get wiped down with non-toxic organic cleaning solutions. And in terms of the photography, we do our own photography. We have proprietary booths set up where we very quickly take high resolution photographs with from multiple different angles, so that you don't have a surprise, an unpleasant surprise when a delivery comes. It's truly what you see is what you get.
Right. All right, Alpay, thank you so much. Keep the questions coming. You can answer them online. And we have two more companies left. The next one will be MotoRefi. And so MotoRefi is digitizing the refi process for your cars. Now, if you bought a car, 80% of you who did buy a car financed it through your dealer. And turns out, everybody, the dealers are not making money anymore on cars. They're actually making their money on that financing, and they're making their money on that warrant. So when you walked out of there and you felt kind of dirty because you think you overpaid, you did. So MotoRefi has partnered with credit unions who solved all that many moons ago. They will refinance for you, and MotoRefi has made it completely digital. One other thing that's really important to note, not only are they saving consumers on average about $100 a month, $1,200 a year, but they provide a $200 referral fee for your market affiliate program, or for anyone who's referring customers into the platform. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eric to tell you about more details.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric Stradley. I'm the COO here at MotoRefi. Plain and simple, we help people save $100 per month on their car payments through refinance. The reality is that the auto industry is not as consumer friendly as it could be. People's cars are one of their most important assets. Even in today's world, it is very difficult for the vast majority of Americans to work, and more importantly, to pay the bills without access to a vehicle. Meanwhile, cars are getting more expensive and loans are getting longer. meaning that car owners are more likely to have to take on an even higher loan amount to finance their next car and cover the negative equity on their trade-in. We help people escape this vicious cycle. And why do we exist as a refinance company? You can refinance your car just like you can refinance a home. But unlike a home loan, most car owners don't shop for great financing at point of sale because they're not incentivized to do so by dealerships. The net result is that 80% of car owners who you work with could get better financing through refinance. So here's how it works. The key is we make it easy. With just a few pieces of personal information, we can generate pre-approved offers from a great network of credit unions for our customers. No credit pull needed. Then, once somebody wants to proceed, we do everything on their behalf. We collect all the necessary documentation with our online interface. We help them retitle their car so they don't have to make a trip to the DMV. And then we open an account with a new lender. Soup to nuts, we do everything. Handling the whole process in a 21st century way is how we have a net promoter score of 81 and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Most importantly, we're creating $100 per month out of thin air for our consumers. That person can use the money for other things in their life, like paying rent or other expenses. Here's an overview of kind of the nuts and bolts of what it looks like from your perspective. We make it really easy for a potential customer to use our services on desktop or web. They can find us from a link on your intranet or app, in a simple email campaign, or just a landing page. We've had success with all of the above and are happy to work with your teams on the right entry point into our flow. Like I mentioned, we make it easy for customers to understand their options and the impact on overall savings. No hard credit pull needed. Only then, once they know they'd like to move forward and understand their options, do we move ahead with a hard credit inquiry and help them complete the process online all the way to a fully perfected loan. We have a staff of over 100 contact center employees who are always available to answer questions, and we put customer satisfaction at the center of everything we do here throughout the whole process. For our partners, we pay a fixed fee in exchange for a funded loan, typically $200 per refinance customer. We have a team that helps support our partners. Our goal is not only to deliver value for car owners, but also to act as high quality revenue stream for our partners as well, with great reporting and great internal service. So why work with MotoRefi? First off, car owners with $100 more free monthly cash flow means good things for you all. Higher likelihood of making other payments, such as rent, and money saved on one of their most important assets for their businesses and their jobs. Second, we've designed our economics to be good for everybody. We save customers money, but we also revenue share a material upside at $200 per refinance completed. Finally, there's really no reason not to try a pilot. We have standard co-branded marketing materials and can turn around a co-branded landing page and get something launched in a matter of days, not weeks, not months. Our goal is really to deliver value to you all with very little overhead to get started. We work with a bunch of big brands, I've listed some here, and can be a really material revenue source. Thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to reach out directly. I'm always available. My email's on the screen, eric@motorefi.com. I'd love to talk to you and your teams. And my cell is listed here as well. If you'd prefer text, SMS, phone call, all great. Thanks again so much for having me. Very excited to be a part of the Moderne family, and we'll talk soon.
Eric, thank you. We've got a few good questions here. So do you only refinance, or would you also do original auto loans?
Yeah, great question. Right now, we're just doing refinance. I expect we'll probably get into the original auto loan space at some point later this year or next, but just refinance for now. Great.
And how do you work with other businesses? You talked about a white label page and signups. Someone asked specifically about working with realtors and brokers.
Yeah, we have a few partnerships that we're looking at in the realtor and broker space. We don't have one live yet, but we do work with other similar smaller partners where we can do anything from set up a landing page that's co-branded with the right context about the partner and drive people through it in order to check their rates, or something like an email campaign. And then the sort of most complex version of the partnerships that we have involve direct integration with the partner site. And we have an API that does that and is fully self-service, and your developer team can build into.
Yeah, and from my perspective, this fits perfectly into any marketing affiliate group that anyone already has existing today.
Exactly.
And then finally, so I know a good answer to this, but I'll let you take that. How do you differentiate yourself from other refinancing products?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say in sort of two key ways. One is not particularly special to us, but special for the auto industry. We're just extremely consumer focused. Most people in the auto industry, as sort of mentioned in the overview, sell people stuff they don't want. And that is something that, because we are doing it digitally and also just have certain ethos and values as a company, we control the experience around pretty tightly, defining which customers can get which products and making sure that those products are actually the right products for them. I think the second area is more technology based. We do have a fully online flow, and most importantly, we underwrite the entire sort of borrower and vehicle. We're doing all the appraising online. We're doing all that systematically with our program. And there isn't another service out there that does all that online. It's a very old school industry, and people are literally using paper rate books to look at a customer's file, decide if they can deliver value to them, then maybe you can call a lender and arrange that financing for them. We just do all that seamlessly through technology.
Yeah, and I'll add from our own due diligence that there's not another platform out there that is fully digital. And in our experience, all the other platforms that say they do this, ultimately you have to talk to a person. So this is the most seamless. And we also found your rates were the best. And so
that is true.
Both great things for people. So thank you so much, Eric. Again, keep the questions coming. You can answer them offline, and we will get to our last but not least with
Thanks so much.
Stride. Thank you, Eric. So Stride is providing a benefits platform, particularly for 1099s. They offer health, dental, vision, as well as tax and other services. Again, particularly aimed at the 1099 workers. They power huge workforce behemoths like Postmates and DoorDash and Uber, and they're bringing this platform as well to the real estate space. Now, as an industry, or I should say across our industries, real estate, finance, insurance, home services, there's well over 2 million independent contractors. 80% of them are not covered by employee or spousal coverage. And we, by offering this as Uber does, you're being able to, we see that people are able to retain and attract the more brokers or more contractors into their businesses. So it's a really valuable product and a really valuable platform. And to tell you more is Steve.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and I'm here to talk with you about how you can help your agents get their own affordable benefits at no cost to you. So here at Stride, for years, we've been partnering with companies who have large populations of non-benefited workers, and we're helping those companies provide their workers with access to their own affordable benefits. We've done a lot of work in the gig economy space, so we've partnered with all of the big players there: Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, Postmates, Grubhub. We've also worked with a lot of companies who have large populations of part-time and seasonal workers like Gap and Red Lobster and Olive Garden. And we've also worked with companies in the real estate space like Keller Williams, all in an effort to help those companies provide their independent contractors, their part-time or seasonal workers with access to their own affordable benefits and make it really easy to do that. If you've never had to get your own benefits, let me tell you, it is not a fun experience. It is really stressful and it's really time consuming. First off, there are thousands of options. If you go to the Affordable Care Act marketplaces, you start off with thousands of options to have to sift through. There's also just a lot of confusing terminology and jargon. So deductibles and co-pays and premiums. It's also a pretty terrible user experience. It's obvious that the government agencies who are hosting the Affordable Care Act platforms, they're not in the business of creating great user experiences. And so it's often a confusing and difficult process for your agents to navigate these experiences to secure their own benefits. There's also a real lack of customer support. So if you have questions or need help during the enrollment process or after the enrollment process, you're really not going to be getting that from the government agencies who are hosting these platforms. And all of this is a bit of a shame, given that health insurance has never been more affordable. So thanks to the American Rescue Plan, which was just signed in March, more people than ever now qualify for subsidies. So the income ranges have been increased so that people making more income now qualify for more government assistance to help lower the cost of health insurance. In fact, 4 out of 5 people can now find Affordable Care Act health insurance for less than $10 a month. And this is all very high quality health insurance. It has to meet certain requirements to be hosted on the Affordable Care Act marketplaces. So it's quality health insurance. It's just more affordable than it's ever been. And people can also now enroll all year round. So in the past, you could only enroll during the open enrollment period, which takes place in the fall. As part of the American Rescue Plan, individuals can now enroll in health insurance today. If they don't have coverage right now for some reason, they can enroll in coverage today. The challenge is awareness. Not enough people know that health insurance is as affordable as it is today, nor do they realize that they can actually enroll today if they don't have health insurance. And so that's the big opportunity, is how do we help not only make this an easier process, but make sure people understand they have options to enroll and get themselves and their families covered. And so that's the opportunity here. You can help your agents get their own benefits and do so at no cost to you. So the Stride platform will provide your agents with a personalized plan recommendation. Stride will go out and look through all of the Affordable Care Act plans that are available to this individual, ask them about their family needs, ask them about the doctors they want to keep, ask them about their prescription needs, any pre-existing medical conditions, and come back to that individual with a personalized plan recommendation so that they don't have to sift through all the plans themselves. All of this is done in a simple, hassle-free experience. We designed this experience for that gig economy sector that I mentioned earlier. For a lot of those folks, English may not be the language they speak at home. High school might be the extent of their education. Their phones may be their primary, if not only, computer. And so all of this has to work really well in a mobile web browser and be really simple to understand without dumbing it down. Turns out every audience benefits from that kind of simplicity. So it's a really simple, hassle-free experience. We'll provide them with assistance in calculating their income to make sure they get all the subsidies that they're eligible for to help reduce the cost of their health insurance. We'll also provide year-round support. So our award-winning customer support agents will be available during the enrollment period as well as after the enrollment period. If people have questions around, I got an invoice from my insurance carrier and I don't quite understand it, can you help me? Or I have a procedure coming up next month and I want to know if my plan will cover that. Our agents are available all year round to help your agents. And all of this is delivered in a co-branded experience that includes your branding, your terminology, your background image. We'll provide you with marketing assets to make sure you can communicate the offering to your team and help them get covered. They'll have access to a full suite of benefits, so not just health insurance, although that is really the cornerstone of the benefits program, but they'll also have access to dental and vision and life insurance, accident and disability insurance, prescription discounts, expense tracking and tax guidance, so assistance in helping them understand how much they should be setting aside to pay their taxes. All of this in a co-branded experience that is coming from you to them. We'll give you everything you need to make this program a success. A recommended communication calendar, what you should be communicating to them at different points throughout the year, communication templates that will incorporate your branding and language you use when you're communicating with them, access to educational webinars. So we do a few webinars all year round that helps your agent understand their tax obligations, help them understand how to navigate health insurance. We'll provide those webinars. You can share them with your population. And you also have a dedicated partner success manager who will work very closely with you to make sure that your program is a success. And we can get you up and running in less than a week. So this is pretty low lift from your side. We'll take care of building the experience, of hosting it, giving you all the communication templates. All you need to do is let your workers know about the benefit. And so that's the opportunity here, helping your agents find their own affordable benefits, and doing so at no cost to you. So we invite you, let's help get America's real estate agents covered. There's never been a more affordable time for people to get their own health insurance. And we'd love to partner with you to help as many of America's real estate agents get covered as possible. So if you're interested in working together, drop me a note. I'm Steve at stridehealth.com. Thanks.
Steve, thank you. So you talked all about real estate agents in this presentation, but that's not the only group that can get covered, right? We're also talking about the brokers out there, and we're talking about the gig economy residents, and we're talking about co-working spaces, where the gig economy there, and kind of everything in between, right?
That's right. Yeah, anyone who is on their own for getting their own benefits, we can help them out.
And a couple of questions. Do you work with independent contractors directly, or do you have to be connected to an organization?
So we do leave the door open. If there are individuals who are not affiliated with an organization, they can access Stride, but we don't really put a lot of focus on that. Our primary model is we work with companies who have large populations of non-benefited workers. They want to help those individuals get enrolled, and so that's our primary model there. I see another question here around HSA accounts.
Yeah,
they work really well with high deductible plans, and so in the event if someone is enrolling in Affordable Care Act coverage with the high deductible, they can use their HSA for that.
That's great. Now I'll make a plug for another one of our portfolio companies, Bend, in that case. And Bend, I think, even runs through your platform too for people who are looking for HSAs as a 1099. And what about, so you talked about sort of the high deductible plans, but what about the Cadillac of health plans, the ones that are just kind of your normal plans, I guess?
Yeah, so we focus in on the Affordable Care Act plans. So and the terminology gets a little funny there. I mean, there are premium plans available on the Affordable Care Act, and so as individuals are entering their information, we will go out. We'll look through every plan that's available on the Affordable Care Act marketplace and provide that recommendation, depending on their needs. If they have certain prescription needs, if they have certain existing conditions that require that type of plan, then that plan will appear in the list of recommendations.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Steve. I think as we wrap up our presentation today, you can see all of the companies that presented today here with their relative contact info. And I will also say we've got I think we'll put the poll back up again, so that if anyone wants to if anyone wants us to facilitate a connection with these guys or anyone else in the portfolio, please sign up for our mentor meetings, which we host every other week, every other Thursday. There's another question about are we going to be sharing a recording of this presentation? And yes, we did record this, so you will find it on our website after this, and we can send out a link to attendees as well. And also just thank you so much for joining us. We had a really great turnout, and we really appreciate any other feedback that you have for us as well. And we look forward to seeing you next time.